This episode is presented by Warriors Hope, serving our veterans by helping them reintegrate back into civilian life effectively. Visit them online at warriors-hope.org.
Hey folks, welcome to Surviving Danger Close. Hopefully we really are alive. Surviving Danger Close. This episode is sponsored by Warriors Hope, serving our veterans and warriors by helping them reintegrate back into civilian life effectively. Sound right, Dustin?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
I have the Facebook page open.
I figured as much. It sounded a little rehearsed.
Right?
Well, that's all right. That's what we should be doing now, right?
Yeah.
Rehearsing or practicing or what?
Or at least sounding
Prepared.
and rehearsed.
Yeah, but
Not getting a text message from our producer saying, "Hey, you guys ready to do the show?"
Right?
yeah.
We're doing a show.
Forgot. Maybe.
Right.
Well, at least Jerrod keeps us
Yeah.
on.
That's why we hired him.
That's why we pay.
Yeah, you need to pay me double.
Wait a minute. What?
Pay me double for this one.
Well, welcome. Good seeing you guys.
How you guys been?
Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Memorial Day weekend.
Working on it. That was why I forgot. But fence is fixed though. That's one good thing.
What farm animals do you have that you're keeping in now?
The kids.
The kids, the important ones.
No, we've got sheep that we've had for a little bit now, and finally got them a permanent fence. So at least they know they're staying around till at least fall. But
Right.
trying to protect them. But Memorial Day's coming up, and hope everybody's having a good Memorial Day weekend. There's one thing about Memorial Day that gives me a pet peeve, and I'm just going to start off with this one. It's when I hear people that go up and thank a veteran, and they're a civilian, they don't have anything on, they see him wearing the hat or the shirt or whatnot, or maybe they even know that they are a veteran, and they say, "Thank you for your service," and then they respond, "Oh, this isn't mine, this is for those." I get educating, but don't degrade them while you're educating them.
Right.
That's the one thing that kind of gets me, is when people degrade, and it's like, what? Okay, we as veterans know what this weekend's for. We've got plenty on our mind for this weekend. Don't sit there and berate somebody just because they're thanking you for your service on Memorial Day. But so I don't know your guys' thoughts. I just wanted to throw that one out there, get started with that.
Well, that's new to. I mean, how do I want to say it's new to me? Since I've become an adult, realizing exactly what the day was for, that it's not for those who have served, that we have a day, and that's in November for that.
Mm-hmm.
To thank the veterans. And so, I mean, I've learned that as recent as just a handful of years ago.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like I asked one veteran one time. I was like, "Look, I get it. You're trying to help them learn and educate people, but on every other day, do you say wait till November to say thanks?" Yeah. What's? I mean, I get it. It is Memorial Day. John, you and I both know plenty of people that no longer with us, and due to either suicide, due to sickness from deployments, some sort of effect, killed in action, and for us, exactly. There you go. Thanks, Bill. He's on. Why don't you just accept the gratitude? Exactly. Just accept it. And if you want to say, "Hey, let me tell you about Memorial Day. Let me tell you about, Jerrod Beisenhut that passed away on February 8th, 2008. Let me tell you about him. take that time to educate, but don't sit there and belittle them. Or if you're in a hurry, hey, thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And usually the road that I take is I tell them, I appreciate it, and I thank them for their support. And if it's appropriate, same thing. I'll share a story or a memory of someone that is no longer with us, and and just kind of go with it at that. But it's veterans are a funny group, and as dysfunctional as we are, it's a group that I'm proud to be part of, but it's also a group that I have grown to despise in other areas. So yeah, you're right, Bill. A lot of us don't take thank yous very well because it makes us uncomfortable. We're not used to them, and especially in a thankless kind of job sometimes, such as corrections. But yeah, education can go a long ways, and probably the hardest thing that I had to realize and learn is, if for me, I guess, is I have not personally lost anyone directly under my command or work with me. I did have a troop that went on. He PCS'd out of, which is a permanent change of station. They moved from Okinawa to Washington, and they were working in the Pentagon when 9/11 happened, and he was injured, but ultimately he's okay. But he was in the building, and he took refuge when the plane struck, and he assisted some people getting out. But it's what I find is the guilt. And I think I shared this the other day on my page, is the guilt that comes along that for many of us at any given time or moment, we could have been changed. We could have been in that spot, or probably the closest I don't want to say closest I've come, but I was had orders to Kobar Towers in 2001. We're coming up on was it 2001? Gosh, time escapes me now. But I had assignment orders to go to go and stay in Kobar Towers, which we know was attacked and bombed, and lives were lost then. But for whatever reason, I was transferred to a different duty station in another Middle Eastern country that spent some time in. But the guilt for many, especially our Vietnam vets. The guilt of Memorial Day. They remember every day, many of them, and Memorial Day is oftentimes, it's very hard for veterans that truly did lose friends, especially from small town communities. And I was just sharing with Dustin and Jerrod before we got on air that I was looking it up, and here in Tuscola County, we lost 15 local boys in Vietnam that were killed in action. So, these chances are, there was 4 of them from Caro, 1 from Reese, 1 from Akron, 1 from Millington, and kind of spread out, 1 from Tuscola, the little 3-way stop sign. Chances are a good number of these people either played sports against one another or knew one another, and they lost their lives there. So Memorial Day has lots of different meanings to different people. It's getting to the point now, we're about out. We're running out of time with our World War II vets.
Yeah.
And sadly, I know that our Vietnam vets are getting up there in age as well. And you're right, Bill. There are times that we do hate, the fact that the survivor's guilt. We hate the fact that we made it and some others didn't.
Survivor's guilt is one thing that I struggled with myself for many years. I was deployed from 2007 to 2009, and I always thought before then, I'm like, survivor's guilt, what is that? Like, why? I had no background in psychology at the time. I had no real war trauma underneath my belt. I was like, why do people deal with survivor's guilt? You survived. I mean, that's great. You should be happy. And then it happened to me where I came back and I was like, why am I here? Why am I the one that's here? The one sergeant's name I mentioned earlier, that was February 8th, 2008. I may get dementia. I guarantee that'll be one thing that I will not forget. 500-pound deep buried IED took a 32-ton vehicle, flipped it upside down. I was the one that at the battalion at the time who was in charge of getting the 9-line. For those that don't know, a 9-line is a 9-line medevac. You have to give 9 lines of information. And at the time, I knew that you could do a certain amount of lines, I think 4 or 5, before the bird could get off the ground. And at that time, I had one of the fastest wheels up 9-line that was in. I got a coin for it. I met General Petraeus, and he's thanking me for all this, and my commander's thanking me. But I'm like, we lost 4 guys there. One guy died on the way in the bird that they picked up. And for years, I looked in the mirror. I could barely look in the mirror. When I got out in 2011, I didn't even want to say I was a veteran. They'd say, "Oh, would all the veterans please stand at sporting events?" I was sitting because of that survivor's guilt. That is such a powerful thing. Because why did I survive? Why did that guy die on the bird? Oh, hi, Amanda. Thanks for coming on. And it was like, why wasn't I faster? I should have been faster. And for many years until, I want to say maybe even 4 or 5 years ago, when I was in DC and I met up with the sergeant that was with me in the room when all that went down. And he was like, why are you still beating yourself up for that day? Because I sat him down. I'm like, dude, ran it through my mind for the last 8 years, whatever. What could I have done differently to save? He goes, what could you have done differently? You could have had the birds there before the attack happened. That's about the only thing you could have done differently. We can't tell the future in those events. And really, I still struggle with it today. This weekend's rough for me because I know certain people that passed away while we were over there. We lost 7 guys, and I knew each one of them. And it's tough just because we came back, we had a ceremony for those we lost, and here I'm looking at the wife or fiance, I can't remember at the time, but the family of the guy that died in the bird on the way back from the medevac, and still beating myself up over that to know, okay, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Even though I got the award for it, I it's still, even today, it gets to me because that survivor's guilt is there. Why was I the one that the rocket missed my truck? Why did that bomb not go off when we drove over it, but it went off when they did? And I know guys that I've talked to for, in the years since then, that runs through you, especially today. And that's what Warriors Hope is for, and for us, and that's why we're here. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran, first responder. Stuff we kind of gear for first responder, and that's fine. And today we're taking time for mainly our veterans. You survived for a reason. Do we know what that reason is? No. Is it easy? No. But staying on that survivor's guilt and allowing that to fester in there, look around you and see who else you're affecting. I affected my family in a big way, and it wasn't until I started dealing with survivor's guilt that I started to repair the damage done to my family just because I came home to them. And if you want the full story on that, I think I did that on February 8th somewhere on our page. I think I did a live on that. You guys can listen to that. But I know I'm rambling, but this is not an easy holiday for a lot of veterans.
Right.
Just because of what it represents and I know I have a KIA bracelet that a lot of times people see me wear on here, and that'll be on no matter what I do tomorrow. That's going to be on from midnight until midnight or then the next morning, just because of the fact of what it represents and knowing that there's people that their families changed, their lives changed in that instant, and yet here we are still carrying on. And that goes on to veteran suicide. I mean, I know a lot of those I've talked to that have tried to commit or thought about commit suicide. It's survivor's guilt. I'm here, he's not. I just don't want to be here. And if you're thinking that and you're listening to us, I don't care if you're listening to this 3 years from now, you reach out to us. I don't plan on going anywhere. We may forget a show here or there, like we did tonight, but we don't plan on going anywhere. Reach out. That's what we're here for. You're not the first one to go through this. Trust me.
Right. And I think back to when I was a senior, and generally I hate this time of year anyway, just because school's getting out, and inevitably, since I've been a first responder, I've seen too many lives and too soon, when really they're just getting out of school and everything is in front of them. The whole world is about to be theirs. And I think back to when I was a senior, and there was 6 of us that were friends, and we all enlisted in the military. 4 went into the Marine Corps, 1 went into the Army, and here I am, an Air Force vet. And in the class ahead of me, we had a few more that they graduated the year prior, and one of them, I'm not going to share his name because I don't know how comfortable he is with sharing his story, but there is a local business in town that he and his wife had owned, and he is a Purple Heart recipient, and I hear his story, and then I'm floored. I'm floored that he made it. I'm floored that he's still here with us. And I can't think of anything but the tremendous work it takes probably every day for him to just still get up and get out of bed and left foot, right foot type thing. And I think back to when I was, actually, the 24th was the anniversary. And it's important for us to say their names too. And the gentleman that I'm speaking of is Sergeant Chuck Dreyer. Many of us know his mother. She's a reporter for a well-known newspaper in the area. And he grew up a half mile down the road from me. He was, I believe, 2 years older than I was. But he was someone I looked up to. And like I said, 15 years ago, he was killed in action. Like 16 years ago now, I'm sorry. He was killed in action. Let me see if I remember where it was. Not that it's important to the story, but he was killed in action. He was assigned as a sniper in I believe it was the 2nd Brigade. That's about all I can remember. But it's important to say their names, and I knew his little brother Jason, and it affects everyone when we lose someone overseas. My wife's family, she has a great uncle that she has never met who's buried in France, and some family members were able to go over to France and visit his tomb or his grave. And it's just what a great American story, and it says a lot for our countries that we go and liberate from oppression, that they still honor the veterans that were killed on their soil. and they give us that soil. That cemetery there is American territory.
Yep.
It's American land. So it speaks volumes of what foreign nations thought of our country and our men that gave it up their all. And we honor those this weekend around the world, wherever they fell. And it's just truly amazing. As an American, it's got to be humbling to know that there were warriors that went out and did that willingly. But as a veteran, it also instills a great sense of pride, even if it does bring grief for the ones that we know and love. It's just an incredible weekend, regardless of what other people think, how they celebrate it. Sometimes it gets frustrating, but sometimes I think they just don't maybe have a card in the deck or a price in the game. And I can't judge them for that. I decided to buy into that hand, and I was fortunate enough to cash out okay, and some cashed out permanently. But it's a truly powerful and moving time for all of us that have served, and those families that they paid the price on their own from someone that they loved.
And there's civilians out there probably thinking, how should we do this? Should we do that? It's there. Like I stated right away, whoever you want to think of that, go for it. It is Memorial Day. It's when we are thinking of those that we lost close to us or family members. But go have your fun. That's right. They would want you to anyways. Go have your fun. I'm gonna do something with my family. I know in past Memorial Days I've gone to cemeteries. I've been to a few of the tombs of guys that we lost over there. My medic was one of my medics that was killed that I knew real well. Went and found his tomb.
Don't mind me, I'm just destroying stuff.
Yeah,
it's a good time to rearrange your office.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll wait for you. This is we do live. We're fortunate enough to live in a great country, and I have to say Canada too because my wife is Canadian. In case my family over there is watching,
and they had their Memorial Day last week.
Yep, they had theirs. And her grandfather was a World War II Navy guy, and for the Canadian Army or the Canadian Navy. And it was nice to sit down over the years until he passed away, within the last couple of years, and just talk to him about it. And it doesn't matter.
I'll edit for you.
No, don't worry about it.
No, grief doesn't understand boundaries.
No,
or borders.
I mean, even now, I just think of talking to him, and mind you, the communication technology has not changed much from World War II until now. It's just the boxes are different. But I remember just talking to him, and then this is what Memorial means to me. The guys I lost. My dad is a veteran. He never saw combat overseas, but he was federally activated through the National Guard at the Detroit riots in the late 60s. He was there. And he and I have talked about what he's gone through because his targets, the enemy, was American citizens. Let that sink in for a while. He's still with us, but for me, Memorial Day is the guys that I wear on my bracelet every day. I've got a KIA shirt that the unit put out. We had to pay extra for it because certain things with the printer and all that, and we didn't care because we wear it not for us. Um, it's a rush of emotions during Memorial Day, and I could be fishing with the kids having a blast, and out of nowhere it will hit me. And you know what? That's normal. You know, you're not different just because all of a sudden something hits you out of nowhere. You're not. It's not like you're anything unusual. You know, that's why I don't want this all edited. I mean, we joke around about it, but we all know Jerrod doesn't edit.
Yeah. I'll forget by the time I put it up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. We
Yeah, I got to be honest. When we talked about doing a Memorial Day show, it sounded like a great idea, and these are all things that we talk about on our own and holding ourselves. But I got to be honest, this freaking show is killing me right now.
Yeah.
Jerrod, don't you got something smart to say?
Smart? No, I never have anything smart to say. What are you talking about? But I mean, I know you guys are having a hard time, and I can really appreciate that. I think it's also important for anybody out there who can come across this show, anytime that they come across it, and see that they're not the only ones that are grieving and remembering, especially on this day. I mean, for me, somebody who did not enlist and knows few. I mean, honestly, I don't think I could name off a name of somebody who died in combat, and so this day doesn't hit me like it's hitting you guys, but being on the show with you right now, it gives a different perspective. This isn't just the day to remember people who have passed. I mean, this is a specific group of people who have passed. So I'll do the little bit that I can contribute, and that is the couple of moments of research that I did because one thought was, what is Memorial Day and why do we do it? I mean, talking to you guys, we know why now. Anybody who started to listen to this, anybody who will be listening to this in the future, now we know why. But it started in the Civil War era. There goes the flag. My T-shirt's sitting right there.
There we go. We'll use that for today.
Yeah. It started in the Civil War. Confederate soldiers would get their grave sites decorated by their family. And then after the Union or what was left of the Union Army started adopting it for theirs as well. Then in 1868, it was called Decoration Day. And it went from almost 100 years before somebody went, hey, you know what, we're going to make this a national holiday. And we actually have two Memorial Days. We have Memorial Day and then our Memorial Day observed. And so tomorrow is the day that we observe it. And it is specifically for those who have, let me find exactly where it says, died in the performance of their military duties while serving in the United States Armed Forces. And that sounds really generic. But now we're talking, and it's good to put some names out there to those who did die during their performance of their military duties. Their military duties of really just providing us our safe harbor of a country that we have. And we can thank our veterans, but we really need to thank those that didn't come back. Those are the true thanks. And so that is one little bit that I did. So yeah, very very little research. And Arlington, our largest military cemetery, specifically for those. I mean, I guess it's not specifically for those that died in combat, but that's the probably most clear way of that happening. And those who have not been to Arlington, go to Arlington. I don't care what is happening in our country right now. Spend a day in Arlington. I've been there twice, and even the first time was in 8th grade during a class trip, and even just in 8th grade, the weight of that place will even get a 13, 14-year-old. And you'll really understand. And then I went later with a different group in my early 20s and felt it just as hard. And so actually we're talking a pre 9/11 and a post 9/11 visit. The only real difference is I was actually video recording the group that went, and I had to take my microphone off the camera. Yeah, very good word, Bob. Arlington is very humbling. There are rows and rows, and they're so neatly put together that you can see what you can see the weight of today in those rows. So when you get to go, don't just think about it. Think about the day and everybody who knows those people, because there are a lot of people who that they still have friends and family that are around thinking about them. So those aren't just crosses and stars of David and everything on those stones. Those represent a very large population of our country. And something that they don't have on their site, which now we'll lighten it up a little bit. Interesting history on Arlington is that it was actually Robert E. Lee's mansion, and kind of to put an extra little FU to the Confederacy, the Union set up their cemetery in his backyard or front yard, depending on where you're looking. And I thought that was really interesting. And not only that, but his wife, Mary Custis, was George Washington's second great granddaughter, I think, somewhere in direct line. So Robert E. Lee's wife was a direct descendant of George Washington.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's something you don't learn on their site. I searched through their site. That's something I learned with the tour guide the most recent time that I went.
Yeah, I actually have one of the guys that was killed. He's buried at Arlington, and I've been to his grave a couple of times there. And yeah, it is. Oof. If you ever been there while a funeral procession is going on, if that doesn't make you stop and think, you need to start thinking. The horse, the cadence, the respect that they give to the body, and it doesn't matter if it's a current or someone who's killed now or a veteran that died or passed away. Yeah, it's wow.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even describe it, just because it's one of those things you just got to go see.
Yeah.
It's impossible to even describe. But
their
yeah,
website says.
What's
go ahead,
that?
Dustin.
Nope,
I was going to say their
Go.
website says that they conduct between 27:30 each weekday and 6 to 8 on Saturday.
And that's a lot. Those guys, they work incredible shifts to do that. It's not like they have 28 different groups of guys to do those funerals. They get done, they march it. They're walking all over that place. But yeah, it's
that's how they keep fitting in those small uniforms they have to wear.
Yeah, you got to have a certain size requirement. I mean, it's pretty crazy the stuff that they go through.
Very strict.
Yeah.
And never tick off the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier Guard. I've seen that happen. I thought it was hilarious, but nobody else did. Those are live rounds that they carry in those things, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. My list did not go the way I thought it was.
Right. Wow. All right. I was glad we made the show tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we started late. We said we'll probably end early. So,
Yeah.
so the important thing is any veteran listening to this who is thinking about suicide and is thinking about all the people that they lost, especially we're talking tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of men and women thinking about that. You're not alone. There are everybody who has survived combat is thinking about everybody they lost. So just know that. Find another veteran and talk to them. Talk to each other. Get it out there. Don't just let it sit and fester with you.
Yeah.
Say the names.
Say their names. Say them out loud. Post them on our. I think you can post on walls and other people's walls on Facebook. Post them on our wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know who they are.
We would very much appreciate if somebody did that. I may start off and post that tonight. The ones that we lost. Yeah, just from my unit. If you guys don't mind, I wouldn't mind giving their names and kicking it off, right?
Let's kick it off.
It may take a while. Staff Sergeant Jerrod Weisenhut, Sergeant Timothy Martin, Sergeant Gary Willett, Specialist Michael Manabog, and that's the one that passed away in the chopper on the way back. Specialist Jeremiah Hughes. There's a story on that one. Maybe one day we'll discuss. But he committed suicide in front of his unit while we were over there. And a good friend of mine, Specialist William Doc McMillan, one of the few docs that medics that we lost, like the entire unit. Last one is PFC Christopher McCraw.
Oh, no. I'll just say it again once more. Local boy from me, grew up a half mile from me, went to school with him. Sergeant Charles Dreyer, 2005, Baghdad.
We'd like to honor those that you guys know. So please, if you hear this, and I don't care if you listen to this on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or next week, next year, any first responder, any veteran that you want to honor, please do. Please share it on our wall. I don't know if there's something special we could do or whatnot that where they could put that, Jerrod. I'll leave that up to you. But we'd like to know. It's you think you come back and especially come back and everything's fine and everything's good. Any veteran will be the first one to tell you that everything's fine, everything's good. But there's reasons why we don't like funerals. There's reasons why we don't like crowds. There's reasons why, and I'll be honest with you, I don't like Memorial Day. Because these are things that we hear. And Yeah, I'll have my moments tomorrow. My kids know we're in the last few years we've been very honest with our kids, and it's something that I feel is good when you're ready. I will admit my wife was ready before me, and I came home one day and my kids looked up to me and says, "We're sorry that you lost friends today, long time ago," and walked away. And there's my wife, and I was like, nah, "Okay, I guess this is what we're doing." Um,
We're gonna do this.
yeah,
Sometimes we need that extra push.
but yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try to find their picture and maybe even post it on our site. But at least their names. And if you guys want to, and I don't care civilian or otherwise, if you know somebody, help us honor them by just we don't have a huge following, but we have people that will look at it, and we'd like to think of them and their families tomorrow.
All right. Well, I think that's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
I thank everybody for tuning in and sharing this time with us as we discuss our Memorial Day and what it means to us. And we share the names of those that we cared for and were friends with that we've lost along the way. And I just pray that everybody has a safe rest of the weekend and continue to celebrate the lives of those that gave theirs. And I'll leave it with that. Jerrod, if you have anything else to add.
No, I think you guys ended it perfectly. Thank you all for listening. Thank you guys for sharing, and we thank all those who we've lost for defending our freedoms.